and welcome to Let's English Country again. And today I will go to a swimming pool and eat a dinner with my sister and my sister's boyfriend, and I will go somewhere and play some blocks and slime and bees and a lot of more fun things, and I will go there with my friend today. So I will gonna do a lot of things, but first we need to read some Magic Treehouse Stage Fright on a Summer Night story. Now we can start the Fright chapter 7 and a forest in the night. Okay, and now first you need 2 thumbs on my YouTube. Now, are you ready for this 1 book and 2 story to read? Now here we go. And first we can read Magic Treehouse Stage Fright on a Summer Night, chapter 7 in the forest in the night. Okay, now let's start it. Jack stood on stage in a bright sunlight. He felt 3,000 pairs of eyes staring at him. "How now, Sprite," Puck said in a loud voice. Wonder you." Jack looked down at the squirrel. He pushed his glasses into place and he opened his mouth. No sound came out. One up the grounding hissed. "How now, Sprite," Puck shouted even louder this time. Wonder you." Jack closed his eyes. He felt the summer night. He took a deep breath and he cleared his throat. He looked at his speech. He began to read. "Over hill, over dale, through the bush stood bear, over park, over pear, through flowed, throwing fire, I do wander everywhere. Shiver than a moon spare, and I shall a fairy queen." And Jack read and Agnes grew quiet, and Jack forgot he was Jack. He was in the forest, in the night, talking to Pug. And Jack, when he finished, not a single grounding and hisses or throw things. Jack drew a deep breath as Pug started his lines. Jack knew and no more speech, and his heart pounded, but he was more fun, excitement now than far. Then, when it was time to start the second speech, he was ready. This time he spoke very clearly and with a feeling. He tried to be as natural as possible, and when he was finished his speech, our audience clapped and clapped. Jack hardly remembered leaving the stage. Will was waiting for him. "Hooray!" said Will, slapping Jack on the back. "You're brilliant!" Jack blushed and gave a Will scroll back. He couldn't believe it, just perfumed and acted in front of those people. And he actually had fun, just like Annie had said. Jack waited for shadows for Annie to do her part, and he watched it to go on stage with her fairy queen and another fairies. When the queen set the fairies to sing her sleep, Annie stepped forward, reading from her school and sang out clearly and a lot of feeling. "You spotted snacks with a double tongue and a dormy head, dogs don't be seen," and Annie waved her hand as it shooed away, and snakes and hot dogs. "Newts and blind worms, no wrong, come not near our fairy queen." Annie shook her finger at a newts and blind worms. Audience howled with laughter. Annie keeps singing. She makes funny movements and silly faces to go with the words. She even added a little dance to her song. By the time she finished, our audience clapped and cheered and stamped her feet. "Wonderful job, Andy," Will said when Annie left the stage. "You're brilliant." Jack told her. Thanks, said Annie. She gave her scroll back to Will. Do I go on again? Not until the end, when we all bow, said Will. And just then Jack heard our Deans laughing again. He really wanted to see the play, so he found a shady spot in the back of the theater and watched it from there. And Jack couldn't understand everything people said, but he could understand the story. It was about people in love, but non-peoples ever to marry the people they love. The funniest part was loving about the fairy king and fairy queen. The king had made the queen, so he pulled a magic juice in an island to make her fall in love in a forest person who saw. And Puck worked about the queen. He wanted to make a king's trick even funnier. So he put head up a donkey and a funny man. When the queen woke up, she saw a donkey man, and the magic made her full of the madly love with him. A fairy king was finally broke a spell. Puck turned into a donkey man and back to the human while he slept. And when the man woke up, he looked about and wondered. I have just the most rare vision, he said. I have had a dream. And Jack whispered the words himself. I have the most rare vision. I have a dream. Beside of him, a group of the actors gathered from the rest of the play. My lion mask is missing, one of them was. I cannot be in a lion without my mask. Hush, of course you can, said Will. Just roar and roar again, and we'll push the actor on stage. He wiped his brow and kite side of the Jack. Get Andy, he said, the most time for our bow. Annie? Where's Annie? Jack wondered. He hadn't seen in a while. He picked it to a customer room. She wasn't there, and Jack's heart started to pound. He had a scary Dwight. Oh no, he whispered. And where is Annie then? I think Jack have lost Annie. Andy. And Jack ran down the stairs. He opened the door. He was happy to see Annie running out from the trees behind the theater. It's time to bow, he said, grabbing her hand. Where have you been? What did you do? I will show you later, said Annie, and late Jack and Annie charged upstairs together. They found Will, some actors of the waiting. Puck was finishing the last speech on stage. So good night on to you all. Give me your hands as we be friends. Andy, Jack, said Will. He grabbed Annie and Jack. Puck indeed a speech. Dunes gave a big hand and clapped it and whistled too and shouted. Jack and Annie ran on stage with Will and another actors. While they cried and cheered, they bowed once, twice, and once again. They bowed a very lot. Now chapter 8, the most important portion. Let's start it again. Chapter 8. And Will stepped forward, held up his hand. Slowly, crowd quiet down. Thank you all, he said, and thank you to the most important person in the world. She graces us with a president today. We'll make a speeding bow to a woman in the gallery up above a stage. The woman wore a white dress and peers. A veil covered her face. And the woman stood up, slowly lifted the veil, and she had pale, winked skin and small dark eyes. She wore a red wing, and the audience member let out a gasp, and they fell their knees. Long live Queen Elizabeth, said Will. Long live Queen Elizabeth, the crowd shouted. Oh, I think this queen name is Elizabeth. Long live Queen Elizabeth, said Jack and Annie, and the queen smiled. Her teeth was too black. The audience didn't seem them to mine, they cheer even louder. Queen raised one hand and crowd instantly hushed. Thank you, my good people, she said, and I thank all those good players, even one. Today I've given a special kind of magic, a magic of a theater. They turn into daytime into night. Oh man, whispered Jack. Morgan said to learn this magic, turn the daytime into night. Now, this Queen Elizabeth have said this thing for Jack and Annie, I think. And, oh man, whispered Jack, that is a special magic. Their search was over. The audience cheered again. When the actors left the stage, they gathered around to conjurate their success. And Annie pulled Jack aside. We found it, she said. The magic. I know, said Jack. Will help us. Let's thank him. Later, said Annie. First, I have to show you something. I need your help. Quick! Annie led Jack downstairs outside, and the people seemed to wait for a gobble. The late afternoon was going down. This way, said Annie. She handed from a patch of trees and behind the theater. When she and Jack stepped from a gloomy shade, Jack saw an old figure near the tree. A purple cave, barely covered with a furry back and a golden-winged lion mask buried high a fairy head, and Jack gasped, It's a bear! You stole him! I had to, said Annie. I went to the cart and no one is looking. I put a costume on him. So, if we pass people and wait here, they think he was an actor. But you can just steal him, said Jack. I wasn't stealing, I'm saving, said Annie. I'm not sure what to do with him now. What do you think? Just then the bear's owner charged the woods. Where's my bear? He shouted. His face was red. He was shouting. Oopsie Reed, keep them back. I'm selling him to no fights. No, said Annie, standing between the bear and the man. It's a tame bear, not a fighter. She's right, said Jack, jumping in. And besides, Bear was fighting in a stupid, and really stupid. Teeth indeed, said the boys. Jack and Annie and the bear owner rided round. Will and Puck was standing in the edge of the woods. Now, chapter 9, Sweet Sorrow. Oh, Annie has stood the bears. But Annie had a thinking. Annie will help the bear because the bear in this cage. So, Annie thinks it's too lonely or a bit not good to be in there because it might be very lonely and not nice because bear is not thing to fight. So Annie have a thinking, and now today we read a chapter 9, Sweet Sorrow, and tomorrow we started at chapter 9 and then I'm reading the story. Okay? And you might be very excited because tomorrow we read this story, but tomorrow we read a new book, a new story to read, okay? Now, please thumbs up my YouTube. If you didn't thumbs up my YouTube, before seeing my YouTube, okay? And now, bye-bye everybody and happy Saturday. Bye-bye everybody.